lifetimes and travel all over the universe. I go to other galaxies and visit strange alien planets. I zoom right through things like meteor showers and skim over black holes.
Welcome.
Exciting.
This is Ether Wars Skywalking 101. Know your entity.
Yeah.
So,
New
life, you're traveling.
to the fullest. Represent that new life. Peace. Children of the lower worlds, less fortunate. From the orphanage, teardrop coffin lid. The upper world feels your pain. 120,000 years of reign for the young and slain. Your memory lasts for centuries. A tribute for what you've been through. May your life continue. Live on other planets where you see the great ones standing. Even though they took life for granted. It's like the untold stories of Cleveland Martin. Investigation felt the massive votes in his apartment. The informant, mob cops, crime bosses, and cover-ups, FBI's and flying saucers. Watch Night Watch, online love affairs and true crimes. Conjugation of Masons, showing new signs. Government conspiracies. The X not hollow in the hands of this killer bee.
All right, y'all. So we're talking. This is my live version of Ether Wars, and this is Ether Wars. I think like episode 3. So we're going to talk about who are the An or the Anu. We're going to go over some old posts that I posted and some articles I posted a long time ago that I wrote and some information I compiled together a while ago, mixed in with some new information that I'm presenting with you guys as far as their DNA goes. So this is dealing with the Aldebarans. Okay. So before I do this, I want you guys to get this understanding of libraries outside of this reality. If you guys don't know about my show, like I said, I go through every detail. I try to go as in depth as I can because I don't want people to be led off at any point. Oh wow. So at any point. So yeah, I don't want to lead people off at any point. You have to know your deities. One point is skywalking. Skywalking is the ancient art of soul journeying amongst the star and visiting all these star systems and being allowed to tap into the libraries, the different libraries to access the real information. So when you are a gatekeeper, you're able to access certain information and you're allowed to access certain Akashic records or certain libraries. Some of these libraries I won't necessarily completely talk about, but is a such thing as living libraries. I'll talk about that in the distant future, but we're going to talk about the basic libraries in the Orion constellation, in the An and the On. So I'm going to go ahead and turn your guys' attention to this animation that I found earlier. So I like to use everything at my will to get this across. So peep this out, y'all.
Shh, quiet please. Hello, and welcome to the Akashic Records Universal Library. My name is Sophia Chukmore, and I am a member of the race of Cyclops X.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I thought I had somebody knock on the door.
Extraterrestrials who call ourselves the Ajna. We come from a planet in the constellation of Libra, orbiting the star.
Yes. Oh, hold on, y'all. I have to.
Did you ever get the batteries?
Batteries.
Out of the remote. I got your batteries in that remote.
Oh, I didn't even trip off that. I was just gonna use my laptop. All right. Okay, thank you, Granny. All right, sorry, y'all. My grandmother interrupted me. Oh, my ghetto thing fell. So yeah, I've got food later.
Al-Zuben El-Genubi, which is 77 light years from Earth. As beings from Libra, we have also been called the Librarians.
Mm-hmm.
We are the master librarians at the Akashic Records. We are the record.
So if you guys didn't notice, she just told you guys where the one of the universal library is in Libra. This is where I go to in the astral realm to get information. So like I said, my channel is about ufology, astral realmology, and all that, soulology, and all that stuff that has to deal with the complexities of the universe and information and how to know certain things in order to be able to travel, because you guys are going to encounter these beings along your path, and these beings are influencing our reality. Not this particular being, this is just the animation of it, but the point of it is that there are libraries outside this existence. So when somebody says that they don't read, it doesn't necessarily mean they don't read physical material. It means that they're accessing or channeling from here. Now, not very many people go into the grand library. There's many libraries and temples around, but there are certain places where certain information is stored, and if you have the know-how, you can access that.
Board keepers here at the Universal Library, and we librarians from Libra have been charged with the responsibility of assisting visitors who seek knowledge through the Akashic records. So, feel free to ask a librarian, ask and ye shall receive. The Akashic Records is the research library that officially serves the entire universe. It is the largest and most visited library in the universe.
Exactly.
The scope of the Akashic Records is to make information widely and freely available to all beings throughout the boundless universe. All information housed and stored here at the Akashic Records Universal Library is mathematically intoned in a universal language interpretable by any being in the universe. We master librarians know the word library is composed of two words, Libra meaning free, and Ray referring to the sun, a source of light. Light is energy and information. If energy is not created or destroyed, and just merely transforms, then likewise, information is not created or destroyed, but merely transforms, and is stored here at the Akashic Records Universal Library. The library is not only that.
So essentially what she is saying in a deeper sense is that when books and all this information that was in this realm, or even before it manifests in this realm, but if it was destroyed, it goes here. It's what is it? I usually call it I forgot what it's called. When something is destroyed, it leaves residual chaotic energy. So this energy is stored and contained in places like this. So this is where you would go and learn how to access within yourself and outside of yourself to access these libraries. I'm going to go into depth about accessing certain libraries as well, just so guys can get into information, tap into your own sources. Information here is from all over the universe, as she said. They keep it. So yeah, these are keepers. I'm going to have a gatekeeper talk when I go into the Book of the Dead and go over a bunch of different other stuff. But
yeah. The lies are buried, but the library also is the Libra Ray, a source of free light or free information. The Akashic Records Universal Library has been called a variety of names, including the Records of Akasha, the Tablets of Destiny, the Hall of Records, the Tree of Knowledge, the Mental Reservoir, the Book of God's Remembrances, the Emerald Tablets, the Book of Life, the Book of Coming Forth by Day, the Planetary Grid of Light Information, the Great Library, the Wizard's Castle, the Divine Matrix, the Source Unified Field, the Universal Mind, the Cosmic Computer, and the Divine Mind of God.
See the owl, y'all?
The Akashic Records Universal Library contains every published and unpublished work, every produced and non-produced work, and records of every thought, every emotion, every feeling, every idea, and the collective consciousness of every being that has ever existed throughout time in the boundless universe. Any book or document that you think was lost during the burning of the Library of Alexandria or the destruction of the Library of Timbuktu has been stored, recorded, and kept here at the Akashic Records Universal Library. Universal scholars visit the Akashic Records to obtain the highest level of scholarly information, knowledge, and wisdom available throughout the boundless universe. The Akashic Records is a scholastic heaven and a paradise of pontification. All information is stored here at the Akashic Records Universal Library, all historical information about the past, all current information about the present, and an ever-evolving reservoir of information on all future possibilities.
And essentially, when I'm talking about your fourth eye and unplugging and all this stuff, that's what I'm talking about, accessing your memories and accessing your book or your tablet of destiny or whatever. You got to go to places like this. So in order to get to places like this, you have to astral travel. You have to leave your earthly vessel, and you got to go to these places to obtain this information. Like she just said, information is light. That is density. So essentially what what some beings do, or ray beings do, is they take information from here, or sometimes they could take information from, you know, places like this and corrupt it, and they drop it into the sun, and we absorb that information, and it no longer has become information. It gets encoded, messed up, and turned into speculation, which is a speck of light, a photon. This is the photon belt. So yeah.
We have records on predestination, fate, will, and destiny. We have information on all past lives and past experiences.
Exactly.
Our Cosmic Cloud 9 computers have infinite storage capacities capable of housing databases containing information on everything in the universe. The information contained within our databases is captured by our etheric data entry staff, of which we have assigned 2 to every conscious being in the boundless universe. This has came down in your earth religions as saying that there is an angel on your right side recording your good deeds, and an angel on your left side recording your bad deeds, and everything that is recorded gets stored here at the Akashic Records Universal Library. The Akashic Records Cosmic Cloud 9 computers are a quantum entangled network which serves as a mental reservoir of intellect and infinite knowledge, and every being in the universe has access to it. All beings in the boundless universe regularly download from it, and upload to it, constantly.
Exactly.
You are always interacting with the Akashic Records, either consciously or subconsciously. To access the
Because it's in
Akashic
the back of your
Records
head.
Universal Library, you do not go without, you must go within. To access the Akashic Records, you must enter into a deep meditative state, increasing your vibration rate, and astral projecting into the etheric realm. Once there you will obtain your Universal Library card. Receiving
Exactly.
information from the Akashic Records is called channeling, and all beings are channels. All the information in the videos on this channel has come from, and is stored in, the Akashic Records. Each floor of the Akashic Records Universal Library is a level or dimension. Different types of information are housed on each level. The first level houses information about your immediate personal Akashic record. If you are interested in past lives, go to the 7th dimension. If you are
Exactly.
interested in future possibilities, visit the 9th dimension.
Exactly.
Pure intention is prerequisite before accessing certain levels of the Akashic Records
Exactly.
Universal Library. Thus, it is exceedingly...
And at certain levels, you need a certain level card. So this is what I was going to get into it too. Why certain people you have to access certain stuff, or how you get the ability to access certain stuff. Because you, like she said, you have to engage. You have to earn certain level to access. It's like the levels in Bruce Lee's movie. Like, it's the levels of discipline that you have to go through yourself to access these things. So this is why I'm so hard on people about books in this realm and books in this dimension, because it's really simplicity of leaving your body, going to access these places, and getting the information for yourself. It's really that simple. I can't put it simpler. And once you engage that, then you can start meeting other beings who will excel you in other realms and teach you different things that you can't find here. So that's my main point about this. And this is a universal library. So there are many universal libraries, but there's only the living library is totally different than that. It's something else. It's a genetic thing. But that's later.
Rare that malevolent beings are able to gain access to the higher levels of information. Many have tried, but very few have succeeded. Psychics, oracles, empaths, and seers often visit the Akashic Records to gain prophecy and clairvoyance.
See, she said very few have succeeded.
The Latin aphorism, science has potential, usually translated as, knowledge is power, infers that having access to infinite knowledge will in turn provide infinite power. Infinite knowledge, or omniscience, and infinite power, or omnipotence, are 2 of the attributes that you earthlings have attributed to God. However, we master librarians of the Akashic Records recognize the logical paradox in your human thought process. We have observed humans come to the Akashic Records with initial pure intentions, but then get addicted to gaining new information, and they get consumed by their quest for more and more consciousness, more and more knowledge, more and more information, to the point where they waste away and die with stacks and stacks of books, and tons of knowledge, none of which they ever were able to use and apply. We master librarians of the Akashic Records Universal Library know that there are 3 categories of knowledge. 1. Propositional or descriptive knowledge is knowledge that by its very nature must be expressed and conveyed in declarative sentences or indicative propositions. 2. Experiential knowledge is knowing how to do something. And 3. Practical or procedural knowledge is the knowledge that comes from actually doing something. The Akashic Records Universal Library can provide you with infinite propositional or descriptive knowledge, and infinite experiential knowledge, but you can only ever gain practical or procedural knowledge by actually using and applying the information that you have gained in the real world. And herein lies the paradox: is it ever truly possible to become an all-powerful, omnipotent, omniscient know-it-all? If you are all-powerful, can you create a rock so heavy that you cannot lift it? If you cannot do it, then you are not all-powerful, and if you can do it, then you have created a task which you cannot do, and hence you are not all-powerful.
Exactly, the
If you know
paradox.
everything, this means that you do not know nothing, and if you do not know nothing, then there is something that you do not know, and hence you do not have infinite knowledge. Well, on that note, I will bid you adieu. I will leave you with this: remember, the eye is the lamp of the body. If thine eye be single, then thy body will be full of light. Light is information, and it will awaken your third eye, the pineal gland.
Or your fourth eye. That's funny. They put the Beyonce at the end. That's kind of funny. So yeah, as she was saying on that. So yeah, that's the Akashic Records in the library. So when in there, I obtained information about certain beings and certain ancient information. So I'm going to disclose this information. This is very, very ancient book. This was in the under part of the the library. This was like buried. So like I say, all information is light. I'm considered one of those librarians, a grand librarian. So I oversee a lot of other libraries and stuff too. And so yeah, but that's enough on that. We're gonna get into these deities. So this is all the Baron, or the cup bearers. You guys see me flash this a lot. This is the cup bearers. See if we can see what else we have here. This is kind of what they look like in their organic state when they're not shape-shifting. They're from the Taurus constellation. Tartarus. I have to talk about these beings a lot because these beings are very negative in there. They're putting out a lot of misinformation, symbology, and whatnots. So, yeah, we're going to go in. Let me make sure I got this information in the proper order. All right, so, yeah, here we go. The Aldebaran, the descendants of Anu. Anu, the Earth's first monster, was called Anu, Kingu. He arrived from the heavens in a new planet, a planet that waited untouched and ignored by the Own, one of the pale race. All right. The Aldebaran are an orange. Sorry, y'all. The Aldebaran are an orange giant, much like a planetoid ship like Nibiru. Hint. Which is manned by Igigi, children of Anu as well. The star located about 65 light years away in the zodiac constellation of Taurus, with an average apparent magnitude of 0.87, is the brightest star in the constellation and is often misdepicted as Venus. Okay. So where else is we at? One of the brightest stars in the nighttime sky. The name Aldebaran is Arabic and translate literally as the follower. Presumably because the bright star appears to follow the Pleiades, or the 7-star cluster in the night sky. The name probably refers to the way of the bright star follows the Pleiades star cluster in his night journey across the sky. This star is also called the bull's eye because of its striking orange color, its location in the bull's head, in shaped asterism. Okay, in 1997, a substellar companion was reported. Let's see where we're at. A subsequent observation have a substellar companion was reported by subsequent observations and have not confirmed this claim. In Persia, it was known as Savides and Kugard. Okay, there's that Ku. Okay, the Romans called it Pelusium. In Chinese, it is known as Bingshuatu Wawu, the 5th star of the net. Okay, In Hindu astrology, it is identified as the lunar mansion Rohadani as one of the 27 stars of Dakashi and the wife of the god Chandra. Okay, this is where Chaldea comes from, right? Okay, approximately 5,000 years ago, the rising of the Aldebaran marked the virtual equinox and was brought. It was bringing the Babylonian New Year. Okay, so these are the inspiration of your Chandelians, your Arcadians, the long bearded dudes with the horns. Right, your symbology of the devil. Okay, the Hebrews called the God's eye the Aleph, the Akkadian Gizda, the furrow of heaven, the Greek Homo Bus, the Latin Oculus Tori, early English the bull's eye, the Hindus called it the Rahani, the red deer. This is why they have antlers on their heads. This is why you see the different in the movie, the Thor movies. You see them have different antlers, right, and different helmets. I'm gonna show y'all Himdall. Himdall is the true Orion in that situation. Okay, that was after Lamahu, or Lamahu. Lamahu. That's what we call him. All right. If you guys notice, his horns are right. They're straight. They're making the same as an ancient Kemet, where they would have the sun in the middle of in the tuning fork, or what I call a tuning fork, which essentially that's what that is on their heads. So the name of the river is Nepal, where the Buddha was born at, in the time of the May full moon around 536 BCE. All right, see, I'm giving you guys exact times, exact everything. All right, I'm not going to leave anything out as much as I can for this first part of the video. Okay, so bring your minds, bring your discipline, bring your attentiveness to this, because this is a history lesson on our universe. All right, this is a history lesson on our ancient wars. It's a history lesson on everything. It's okay. So somebody also mentioned that these are the sounds that were created to create these particular star systems. That is correct. The different tones. Aldebaran is one of the earlier stars to find the night sky, partly due to its brightness and partly due to its spatial relation to one of the more noticeable asterisms in the sky. If one follows the three stars of Orion's belt, can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen the belt of Orion? All right, I'm gonna get into that in a whole video, just going in on the prophecy of that, of what that means. Okay. From left to right in the northern hemisphere, or from right to left of the southern, the first bright star found may be continuing the line of Aldebaran. So I got my phone here. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all what I'm talking about, because a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So I just talk about it when I can show you. So peep this though. They show these beings eating. I don't know if my thing is bright enough. Hold on. All right, so here we go. Peep this. That's King Anu, the King Alalu. Of course, they depict him as, humanoid, but these are in shifted forms. So, I'm not going to get into the matrix math. All right, see, boom. Anu served as Alalu's cupbearer for 9 periods of time. Nibiru years, the Hittite tale of Anu. And for those of you who don't know, Anu is not the father of Enki and Enlil. Okay. Here we go. Alalu again. Sitting on the cube. So the Aldebaran is right there. Hopefully this can fade in. And I'm gonna show y'all a little bit more on my computer though. But these beings, this is what these beings look like. Notice the amount of gold they have on. The horns. Himdall, Himdall, Himdall. All right, boom. Look at Himdall. He had gold eyes. His horns were the only one like that in the video, in the movie. There's a symbol on his chest. That's the symbol of the Orion Empire, and the keepers of Orion's of time in Orion. See, boom. They always depict this stuff. See, these are all the barons. See, you can see the two factions. And look at his, see his horns? They look a lot like this, don't they? Let's go ahead and look like the headdress of a few deities in ancient Kemet I know. Let me see. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it? Where is it at? But trying to see if I can find the thing. Whether you actually have it with it in something like this. See? Now see right. Notice it has a circle in the middle. Alright. Of course this is not curved, but not saying that that's Amun Ra or whatever, but that's Orion deity. See, and there he is standing at the portal between 9 realms. He was keeping the Asgardians from going to the 9 realms. If y'all didn't peep that in the movie. See, here go the Tesseract, the cube within the cube. See? The cube. See the 7, the 6, the 4, 5. The dimensions of the cube. Here's all the Baron. Okay. It's all the Baron, Beltages, Orion. I'm gonna show all this stuff right here. This is their descendants. See the horns? Gotta grab life by the bull. This is their star. There we go. Fade that in there. So what else can I say? Show y'all. Don't want to get into the hypercubes and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a part of the whole little matrix or whatever. This is them right here in the ancient Sumerian, right? This is actually 2 different factions, as you can see. Look, they're wearing 2 different hats. They're doing a Masonic handshake. That's a Masonic handshake, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see that. Boom. We'll go to another Masonic handshake. Watch, show y'all this. Before I go further, I just want to expand. And here's a conspiracy, though. All right. Zachariah Stenson's or Maxwell. All these mainstream ufologists are all in on this shit. Peep this. Look who's doing the same handshake here. Oh, is that Zachariah Stenson and Jordan Maxwell? Oh, the people who exposed it, right? Oh, look at this. More handshakes from aliens, huh? This is how they pass on information, by the way, because they have chakras in their hands. So they could charge the energy in their hand and pass you information. They don't necessarily have to speak. I've seen this. I've done this before. So yeah, Masonic handshake. And y'all guys have seen me do it. So all this shit is disinformation, man. Look, fucking David Icke, Mr. Oh, the lizards. He's a fucking albino Draco. Look at this. What's up? Handshake. And I'll get into the origin of the Masonic handshake. Like I said, this is the passing on of information and wisdom. It's a good thing. Masonic handshake. So I'm gonna let y'all know I can't see y'all comments or whatever. So I'm gonna give you a... Okay, I don't see any other comments. Hey guys, okay. So we're going into the Masonic handshakes. All right. So look at this. Okay, these are the different types of Masonic handshakes. All right. Now, David Icke, right? I'm gonna go in on him on a different video, but you'll notice that they do certain symbolisms and stuff with their hands. They're encoding your mind. So yeah, we're gonna go back in on the Aldebaran right now. Astrologically, Aldebaran was a fortunate star portending riches and honor. The star is one of the 4 royal stars, they say, of the Persians from around 300 BC as the star illumination, the star of illumination, right? The star of illumination. Aldebaran irradiates the way using application power of transformation and seeking illumination. We can cultivate the ability to use the mind as a reflector of soul light. This is if this place is used properly in your travels, because like I said, there's positive and negative on each side of everything. So we're specifically talking about the manipulation, the ones that control information in this realm. So the other 3 royal stars are Antares, ant people, in the constellation of Scorpio, right? In the Western royal star Regulus, all right? Okay, Regal, Regulus, Regal, Gaul system. You got that? Okay. In the constellation Leo, the lion, the northern royal star in the fourth house in the constellation Pisces Asquinus, the southern fish, close to the constellation Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. So they're close to the constellation of Aquarius, so they're influenced the Aquarian energy right now. So let's see, known by many civilizations to be connected with the spirits of rain, fertility of the earth. Aldebaran is called the eye of revelation. Life is filled with the metaphors of revelations. The evolutionary process is an essential journey into consciousness, the awareness through a revelation. As we evolve, we perceive more than we know was existent or perceivable. This is more, becoming enlightened. Yet we are only perceived what we have been, where we have been. We're only perceiving has always been there. Aldebaran is known as the Buddha star, the star of illumination. This is why they push illumination, which is the process of enlightenment through self-reflection. Okay, but if you only go through a process of illumination or illuminating yourself, then you're going through a process of self-reflection. But you have to go out of illumination into your other state, into your 5th dimensional state, which is illumination is light in the 4th dimension. Emanation is light in the 5th and the higher dimensions. Total enlightenment means that you went hyper dimensional and you went through the sun, and now you're not even in this reality or in this galaxy or anything in this existence. You're in a whole nother, I guess, universe. So the hyper realm. So, in order to know where you're going, you got to know where you've been. In order for you to see with your 3rd eye, you can only see in front of you. With your 4th eye, you can see your past, present, future. Your temples are here. These are how you get into your temple. Your body and your mind is a temple. This is why these are called temples. Let's see, what else? Okay, the Taurus is associated with the royal and divine power throughout the ages. Aldebaran has been spiritually or recognized as the alignment of divinity. This is the symbolic relationship between Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, the 3rd eye, or the light in the head, the diamond. The consciousness of the Buddha has been called the diamond eye, which is the eclipse. Children from this star system, right? The positive, very positive ones are the diamond children. The diamond children, the diamond bodies. And this is why Buddha and these other light systems have these other ones, because the positive beings that came from Aldebaran, that gave us the crystal system, the diamond system, the understanding of being neither solid nor liquid, that consciousness, the crystal consciousness. And that was a positive thing that I encountered when I was up there as well. Because the Nordics are usually the ones that are pretty, asshole-ish. Aldebaran has been called the Buddha star, blah, blah, blah. Arabic Al-Dabaran, meaning the follower, sense of the hunter, following prey, where the star cluster Pleiades search as their prey. In some clusters, Pleiades is a presentation of a flock of birds. See? The flock of birds, y'all. Okay. It serves as prey in the Native American language. It is called the white buffalo. For Native American tribe of the Dakotas, all right, these are European intermixed tribes of Native Americans. The Aldebaran was a hero and a slayer of monsters. He was the progeny of the sun and the blue star in the course of the hunting of the white buffalo, the Pleiades. He made a hole in the ground of heaven and saw the people of earth below. He fell through the hole and was adopted by an old woman. Aldebaran then faced off a serpent that was said to cause the drought. When he killed the serpent, it released a stream of water. Let's see. That created the Mississippi River in the Lacera file. The Lacera identified certain beings and had rapidly evolved humankind as before from the Aldebaran system. Taurus constellation, she refers to them as, in Hebrew as Elohim. Now, this is not Elohim. This is, see, and in my Ether Wars video, the first one I showed y'all that they talked about their God was this word God, and his name was Elohim or Elohim. And it's spelled Lilojim. She describes them as tall humanoids who were pale looking, blonde with blue eyes. The term Elohim in Hebrew is a variant of Elohim. So as I said, there's 12 factions of Elohim. Okay? So you guys got to know what y'all dealing with. If you guys, nobody comes out and tells you guys what you're dealing with, you're going to be lost in talking to these beings, and they're going to be feeding off of you for like they've been feeding off of you. They're using the spirituality, everything that they can to trap you. So the symbologies that we're using, all this stuff, they constructed it. So they know how they're harnessing it to tap into you. You know, so they're in, like I said, this is a controlled awakening. This is control. Everything information you get has to be decoded, and you have to discipline yourself through it. Okay. So this is about the serpent, and this is all the killing of the serpent is depicted. The killing of the melanated ancestors, the dragons, in some of the Lyrans and all this stuff is depicted in Thor Ragnarok when they show Thor, which I told you guys in the previous video was a real person that was working with the CIA and working with the government. There's pictures of him. I'm gonna show him in this video of Thor Valiant, and he's a Nordic from Aldebaran, and these are the ones that made the deal over your genetics to harvest you and to kill off the melanated people so they can harvest their DNA so they can stay into the sun. Yeah, like I said, there's multiple factions of this stuff, and in regular form, hence the respect of being similar yet distinct at the same time. Just as the Anunnaki are similar in distinct form, the Elohim, the motif of ancient Sumerian Babylon, and the Hebrew scriptures suggest that the Anunnaki were brethren of the Elohim. See, then that's a little dissension is messing this up. But they broke away as separatists. Okay, the transparent people. The transparent people, our master teacher, or whoever's master teacher, Malachi York, talks about, like I said, he's about 90% right, but there's a whole 360 degrees of more information at that point, So when I worked at Montauk, I encountered a occasional alien species known as the reptilian. They would pop in and out of the physical reality. The reptilians primarily use the lower astral realms as a reference point or a point entry into the physical reality. This is the origin of the legends of astral demons. Montauk controllers explain that these beings, right, were brought to the Draco star systems eons ago by another group unknown to anyone. Further, they explain no one knew anything of their true origins. And this goes back to what I'm saying about the aliens that we have now, or the dimensionals. None of them know their true origins. Nobody know who their creator was. No. Wonder why. Because this originally was a dimension that was used to keep shit away from the other good dimensions. So they were here first, We just so happen to fall here. So somebody took all these beings, put them in a cube, and brought them here. Okay, so Let's see. Montauk controllers explain that these beings are brought to the Draco system eons ago by another group unknown to anyone. Further explained that no one knew anything of their true origins. Communication with me was entirely telepathic. The Draco reptilian mentally, if it mentally, it told me that it came from the far future where humans no longer existed, and that this species was not far from this reality. Continuing, it is said that this species has traveled back into a distant past to create a race of being which is known as reptilians to antagonize and test humans. This is the origin of the Naga, to test humans. They were created to test humans. Okay, so it is also told to me that they were assisted by the Syrians of Sirius A in the creation of reptilians, their placement in the Draco star system. The original reptilians are not the original Draco, dragons, none of this stuff. None of these beings are the original. Like I said, the entire universe was destroyed. Everything was destroyed and had to be recreated again. So vessels had to be recreated. These things that existed in the non-existent had to be created in different etheric levels. And we have to be there at every step of the way to detail this. Okay. Reptilians, to function in physical reality, they need physical genetics. The transparent people took genetics from the now physical Lyrians. This is Lyaren. See, when you get into the particular name and title of it, and you get to it, you get to the root of the entity. All right. Get to the root of which particular faction are you dealing with. Like I said, this is skywalking. This is a discipline that you have to learn when you're going amongst the stars. Okay. So let's see, who were blonde or red-haired, blue-eyed or green-eyed. Okay, these genetics were mixed with the transparent people's collective energy, thus manifesting physicality that the reptilians, these particular reptilians, the albino Draco or whatever, the Kingu or the Anu. This is why the current reptilians need energetics from Aryan type people to survive on the physical plane. These particular ones, because these aren't the real ones are in human bodies. We were human. We could, I'll explain upon the different reptilian races because there's a lot of that, but in reference to melanated people, we were before them. So this is why we're the oldest and we are in human bodies. This is why the current reptilians need energetics from albino people to survive on the plane. Once the reptilians were created in the astral, they needed a physical home base because which to accomplish their task. For this, they were taken to many different physical realities in which they could become the dominant species. Mentally, they were programmed to conquer and absorb all the races. Okay. Mentally, I'm gonna go into that, to the mental part, because I have their DNA analysis right now. They were programmed to conquer and absorb all the races and species they encountered. That they could not be, those that cannot be absorbed will be destroyed. So you have a high enough melanin content, they can't destroy you because they can't absorb you. These beings need different kinds of food. The purpose of all of this is to determine that the most perfect form of physical reality can exist in any environment. This is a gigantic cosmic survivor contest. The reptilians are programmed to believe that they are superior physical form. Specifically seeking reptilian DNA does not change very much over eons. It basically remains the same for them. They're proof that they are already perfect without any need to adapt. Mammalian life, on the other hand, evolves, changes from form and constantly to survive. The reptilian mind, this denotes weakness, inferiority. Reptilians are also androgynous, meaning male and female in one body. This is comparable to all non-physical forms that have no gender, like God minds. For this reason, the reptilians believe themselves to be more godlike because of their androgyny. Due to their ethnocentric values, they are considered in their right to control and conquer all of space and time. Although the reptilians operate out of a general group mind, they are separated into several different reptilian species. So a reptilian species, and then you have reptilian subspecies, then you have draconian, then you have amphibian and ogdod and all that shit. We'll get into all that because, like I said, this is gonna be extensive work breaking down all this shit, because we're getting into the hierarchy of things. We'll point out where these people are and all that stuff, what the realm looks like, to the best we can. Although the reptilians operate on a general group mind, they are separate into seven different reptilian species, each create and perform specific functions. This is their hierarchy, as is based in the 9-level angelic hierarchy that is discussed in the Healer's Handbook. Okay, if you guys are looking for references, the Healer's Handbook, A Journey into Hyperspace. Okay, like I said, I deal with the hyperdimension 12D. That's pretty much where I'm at with that. As a side, the Hindu caste system is our direct replica of the reptilian hierarchy. All right. So, all right. Like I said, this is extensive work. This is a lot. So I've got some stuff right here. The Aldebaran, and this is from me. The Nordic species are ancient origins. The Norse gods, i.e. Nordic and Aryan, their blood types are A, B, and originally A blood type, depending on the star systems or whatever. I'll go into that more specifically. Their etheric levels are 8 and 4 ether. When they are alive, they are 8 density and 8 ether. And when they disincarnate, they disintegrate and become 4 ether, and 4 ether going in and out of 4 and 8 dimensional planes or doorways. Okay, depending on their hierarchy. Their chakra set. The original ones only have 1 chakra. They're a root race, so they have a root chakra. Okay, usually at certain points of their body, because they're primitive races and they didn't need a lot of energy to do a lot of things. They usually needed either one strand or 1 chakra to do this stuff. Their 1 chakra is a root chakra. They live in a big old red giant, so they feed off the red energy of anger, violence, and harm and torture. They're unevolved because of this. They're barbaric, they're horned, and their DNA sequence is grafted to only 4 strains now, and they had 3 strains originally. So this is what the Celtic knot was describing. So the Celtic knot. Okay, so hold on. And the Trinity representing the 3 species that they're trying to create, so that they can have a higher chakra set and they can go into higher dimensions. Because essentially, if you can't get into another etheric level, you have to breed yourself into that etheric level. Okay. So Celtic knot DNA, which is the axis. The 3 strands is the axis of your DNA. Okay, this is the axis mundi, the world tree. Trying to find it. I had some more stuff in here somewhere. I'm gonna make a slideshow to it as well, so we'll just go over the Celtic knot. Okay, this is the basic Celtic knot. So each, as they evolve and they spread and they capture more in their web, more DNA in their web that they can harvest to aid themselves, it gets the knot gets bigger. So right now, this is what they're working with. They're trying to get 3 strands, 3-strand DNA. So let me see if I can find the 3-strand DNA thing. 3-strand DNA is not necessarily a good thing. So peep this. See, and that's the knots. See the Celtic knots going? Then the 3 strands. So each strand adds on more complexity to it, in the simplest way I can. This is a DNA mutation, and I'm going to give you guys the code as to where it is. Okay. So in target complex, the purine and pyridine strands are known in the blue and yellow, respectively. The TFO, which binds the pure rich strand of the target complex through the major groove, is indicated as red. Okay. So see how they added that on? And and you'd have to do that at the nuclear bases in the third strand to be reversed. The hemopurine third strand is an anti-parallel to the homopurine strand of the original duplex, the original two strands, the original two serpents. So as you can see, DNA begins to form. See, and you see that one in the middle, all right? So this is unlocking the secrets of your DNA. A little bit on that. I'll touch on that in a second. So yeah, they're chakra set. They're unbarbaric. They're overtly brutal. They're a root race. The root chakra comes from the root race species with only usually one or more chakras, usually within like four, because there's 4 root races. And then there's sub races that break down into that. A root race is a race that is grafted from another deity, such as a Yeti or a Shetty. Those are more primal races, but a root race is more of a modern humanoid type in between. The Celtic Knights of the Trinity represent the first strands of Nordic DNA. The 3 strands is the axis mundi, or the DNA axis, the cosmic axis, the world pillar. The world tree is the microcosmic access point to Asgard. Okay, Asgard, right, is Aruga constellation. In ancient times, this was called a Zag or Asgad, because the deity there is known as Gad or God, or Odin. So let's see, Oh, here we go. Auriga constellation, and boom, the octagon. So the basis of your symbolism of the octagon is based on the position of the stars at the time. And if you're using a star in your symbolism, that is used to harness souls, for one. Here you go. The pentagon. Auriga. That's Asgard. That's one of the harvesting centers. And I'll get more on that as well. Let's see if I can find more expansion imagery. Okay, so in the Thor movies, right? In Thor Dark World with the Dark Elven, it was depicting the 11th dimension in a world of ether. He said, my father's name was Bor. All right, he was telling how that they came from the Boar constellation, and they came to Orion and all the Baron and stuff, and they conquered it. And they were pretty much trying to steal the ether, and the other beings were using the ether to create technology and weapons, the Dark Elvens and stuff like that. And the cursed has to do with the red dragons, or the other kind of dragons in the realm Kur, which is the dragon realm. Okay. This is astral realmology, I guess. So yeah, that's the 3 strands. Each strand is of the Noct is for a certain particular Nordic species. The Trinity is also equal to the DNA etheric level of access. 3 strands only accesses 3 chakras, to say the least, is gained by breeding and raping humanity. So they essentially gain this by raping humanity and raping some of the children of the Pleiades star cluster. No tree is said can grow to heaven unless it has roots that reach deep down in hell. Upon raping the indigenous species on Earth, formed from the black soil, ones of the first race with 1 root chakra, 2 strands, females called the Eva, or the Eva. This is the closest relative to the Eva creation that we created is Lucy. That's pretty much as close as we consider that. You can get Lulu out of Lucy, pretty much. Pre-ancient descendant is the Lucy found. The Mother Earth chakra, the Earth Star chakra. Okay, guys, unlock your Earth Star chakra. It's, I think, like 12 or 9 inches below your feet. I'm gonna talk about that as well. The Earth Star chakra is 12 to 18 inches below the soles of your feet and often called the Earth Star chakra or the Earth's soul chakra. Okay, it aligns. It aligns. Go within Earth's magnetic core and Mother Tiamat or Ki. Before in ancient times, our universe was once called the Gull, the big bird. Okay, the big bird inside of Tiamat because she gave birth to different creatures, scorpion men, all kinds of stuff. We'll get into that later. Okay, big. The matter universe is Gaul versus the Dal universe, which is the antimatter universe. Okay, the Celtic knocks in DNA. These beings come from the boar, the ice giants, or the snow yeti or a shetty. Okay, you guys know what the snow yeti is the abominable snowman. So the ice giants that they depict in the Thor movies have to do with the ancient Shetty, or from the ice giant planets. I won't get into too deep into the particular planets that these beings inhabit because that's for a different. That's for them. Okay, so the Orion Shetty is their primordial race origin. Plainly, they stole the secrets of DNA from me, myself, and a few other beings in my group. DNA polymeritization. All right, we're going to get into a little bit of DNA talk. Sorry if you guys get confused. But yeah, so DNA polymerization. DNA polymerization are enzymes that synthesize DNA. And DNA is formed from deoxyribonucleotides. So we're going to break that down, right? Diana. Diana is the female version of Orion, okay? Orion plus Arcturus equals the bridge, the arc, okay? Boots, Pisces, and Capricornus, and Alpha Boots, all right? That is the ox. Ox is the boar, or well, the boar or whatever, stuff like that. The ox kind of animal. I don't want to go too deep in that. The ox is Boots, Capricornus, Alpha Boots. The rib is Pisces. Okay, so when they say that Adam gave Eve his rib, that's his DNA, but it was actually the opposite. Okay, because the female was created first. The female's tribes were created first. Okay, ribonucleotides. Okay, nu is Capricornus, Leotides is Leonides. The tides are the waters. The waters are Aquarius, and then the waters of Aquarius is the water carrier. Okay. DNA, deoxyribonucleotide, is a monomer or single unit of DNA, each comprise three parties of nitrogenous base deoxyribose sugar and one phosphate group. Remember phosphate, okay? These beings stole the key to immortality via DNA replication and consciousness transfers, okay? They depicted consciousness transfers in the X-Men movie. Okay, when they show the deity that they're depicting as Marduk, right? He said, "I am Amun-Ra." They called me Elohim. He was in Egypt and Kemet for a reason. They found his body in a temple in a pyramid for a reason. So this was the depiction of Marduk coming back to get this genetic offspring, and he came back and he woke up out of this tomb. If you guys Google the tomb of Osiris, you will see there's a tomb underground, in underwater with this big ass thing on it, and it's a giant tomb. Like, this is a real thing. So they depicted him, and then they show in the beginning of the movie him transferring his consciousness from one body to another, and them healing themselves during DNA replication. But when you DNA replicate yourself so much, you can't stay the same so long that you don't ascend. You de-evolve. You digress. So let's see. Yeah, these beings stole the key to immortality and DNA replications and transferred from the technologies they stole from their rivals, the modern melanated Arcturians, Orions, and others. They are called the Elohim. Okay, they are hybrids. Ribonucleotide rudicose is an enzyme responsible for the reduction of ribonucleotides deoxyribonucleotides, which are building blocks for DNA replication and repair. Okay, This plays a critical part of generation and generating of syntosine adenine. Okay, this is DNA. Yeah, this is DNA triphosphate 1212. That's the code I get for that one. DNA is composed of pentose sugar, one of the four nitrogenesis, rhodine, hexamine, phosphate, and some other shit that I'm not gonna bore y'all with. This is why I kind of don't go too deep into the DNA, because it's hard unless you know you're a scientist how you're going to understand DNA. It's going to take me a whole couple year seminar to teach you DNA, like, so, and there's a lot of information about DNA that I don't want to talk about. So yeah. Okay, so deoxyribonucleotides and disorders of DNA integrity. Okay, mtDNA is dependent upon numerous nuclear encoded factors consistent in supply of DNTP for its maintenance and replication. The functions of proteins involved in nucleotide metabolism is predetermined, interpreted in it's sorry, I can't even write my own handwriting. Something like that. Interpreted in a heterogeneous group of disorders associated with depletion of multiple deletions. So essentially, this is saying that multiple deletions in your DNA and the rebuilding of it or whatever and inside theirs. Okay, this causes mutations of the mitochondrial genome and disturbed homeostasis of the mitochondrial DNTP pools, and are likely the underlying cause in understanding of biomechanical and molecular basis of these disorders. Okay, because they developed a comorbidity. Sorry about that, guys. That's, you don't have to say that very often. Okay, so homeotopic and heterotopic psychological psychopathological continuity. They suffer from comorbidity, necrophilia, and necromania. Okay, this is why the constellation Betelgeuse is based off of their dead, and then it's a factory for reanimating dead. Betelgeuse, Beetlejuice, or however you guys say it. I don't know. I think it's Betelgeuse. At least that's how we pronounce it when I'm in the places I'm at. I call it Betelgeuse. But like I said, I'm not even using my mouth. We're talking in different frequencies. The Celtic knot is hyper branching. A single chain is linked repeatedly, wrapping around itself, creating a very dense structure. Okay, so we're dealing with something dense. That means it's weighing you down, right? The base structures of protein helios. The element is helium. All right, some DNA sequences you guys can look up is IKZF2 gene, chromosome 2. Is a zinc fiber proteins in protein binding. Okay, this is the basis of how we bind proteins and stuff like that. The hair is often white, blonde, or black. Red hair often comes from the Aries or the Aries Orion. Together they are the Aryan. And after rebelling against the Orion Sirius Empire, the Osiris, you get Orion and Sirius, you get Osiris. They are from Tau Taurus, the Bull Taurus. Their home systems inhabit the bullseye, Aldebaran. Okay, so I know we're probably going hella long, but let me check out questions real quick. Okay, good. We're still on point. Okay, good. That's why I go live like this, and I'm trying to get that's why I go live like this, because I have to get out all this information so people can know. So that's why I said I'm doing like 2-hour sessions of just going in. And if you don't have the discipline and you can't focus enough to watch a 2-hour video that might just change everything, or it might just expand your mind into the entities that you're tapping into, then hey, you know, whatever happens happens. I'm just trying to save your guys' souls from being fucking harvested by these beings, sucked into some vacuum machine that they have. Yes, they can take your soul out of your body. All right. They can take your soul out of your body. It's a whole science to that too. So the confusion of the royal tribes and classes of gods of heaven and earth. All right. There's confusion. There's royal tribes. There's 13 royal tribes of heaven and earth in this dimension. There's 48 or 88 modern constellations and sub tribes and stuff like that. We won't get into that. We're talking about the main deities, right? So for some explanation of the titles of the religious groups of gods whom Mesopotamia belong to are the Anunnaki. These are the Sumerian Anunnaki, the Ori, the Nordic Pleiadians, the Akkadian, the Aldebarans, the Draken. Okay, a Draken and a Dracon and a Draco and a Dracon and all that is they're all different. But you gotta travel the stars for a very long time to get that, because these motherfuckers are tricky. Okay, these are Nordic hybrids of Leonides. Okay, then you have the Anuna. These are the true Wanaku. So if you guys are wondering what the real Anunnaki's name were, they were called Wanaku. And this is where I fashioned my information and my spirituality or my science from being a Wanaku. So having a Wanaku, we have the Wu Wei or the Nuwaku. Okay, that you have the Dag and the Dagon, the Kum not Ku, the children, or Ku is the QU. The QU is in there. All right. So y'all gotta understand these sounds and tones. These are the sounds and utterances of primordial deities, all right? And when these primordial deities spoke, they brought this shit into existence, okay? These are children from primordial lines. Those who descended from Abzu and Tiamat. Nun or Anuna was the matriarch of the realm, the Om, all right? So everybody's been talking about the sounds and the tones or whatever. I'm giving it to y'all right here, raw and uncut. Okay. They come from which was a small portal in the old sun, Saturn. Saturn was once a vortex. And when I'm talking about beings coming here and how they got dumped here, they got dumped here through the portal of Saturn. And then we had to cover that hole up in the matrix using a Jovan planet or a gas planet, Saturn. So when you go inside Saturn, you're going into another realm. That's some other shit. It's a loan word. Okay. This word is a loan word. It's plural only for form Sumerian of an, a nun, in, ak. Okay, these are semen descendants of the ak, the matriarch, the nun. All right. So when you get into etymology, you dissolve all of the mythology. When you get into the etymology, when you get into the word play of it, and you figure out and put things in their proper place. This refers to the offspring of the King of Heaven, An, who's the true origin of An. The King of Heaven, An, is the king of the higher dimensions. He's the overseer of all dimensions, but he's the king of the dimensions all the way up until 12D. Okay, so the King An stands over 12D or whatever and stuff like that, and then from there you have other higher Ans. But, you know, people probably wouldn't be accessing that information. I would hopefully not want anybody to go there. But I have to provide this information so you know that this is the truth. The gods together are called the Anunnaki. But this is Anunnaki. Ki, okay? In the text, one might especially add Anunnaki as Sasameuer, Setim. See the set. Setim, Saturn. All right. So the Anunnaki of heaven and earth. Okay. The definition of the term Anunnaki is children of An and Ki. Anunnaki is thus a collective name for gods of heaven and earth, or simply what they used in fucking ancient times to describe an alien. Pretty much. Some flock comes from heaven, comes to Earth. Oh, there's no word for alien. We'll call it an Anunnaki. So, this is the collective of gods of heaven and earth, which is the triads the gods belong to. The most important gods of the Mesopotamian pantheon were Anu, Enlil, and Enki. That bullshit. Earliest headed by Anu, who is Enu. Like I said before, Anu is not the father of Enki and Enlil. Okay, this is Enu or Enos. As I said it before, Theanos. Okay, remember earlier we said he came here in a planet. This is talked about in fucking the movie Guardians of the Galaxy with Ego or Enu, right? And later by Enlil. Okay, Lu is the true son. Enlil is known as a Lu dragon. Okay, this is the true son of Alalu. Okay, here's the other ones in the ancient Sumerian text that talk about another set of beings. The Andununa. This is Andununa. Very, very off, right? We're from Anunnaki, but we have more than this. And then this is from the text. This is from the tablets. This has been decoded from tablets. I've double checked this. I've went into the text. I actually have Sumerian books and stuff on how to read Sumerian language. I actually can write original Sumerian language in alien Sumerian language and other languages. So, heaven, where the gods play, an Anunnaki, the combined faction after Anu was promoted to the king of heaven, and Alalu was banished to Mirth, or Mars, which was the second Earth at the time. Okay. Where do we go? The second Earth. The Igigi met in heaven in Shub Ukin Naku. Okay, the Divine Assembly Hall. In the Gilgamesh epic, has the gods dwelled in a cedar mountain. They had their parku, their throne base here, and it was an enormous tree, the Axis Mundi, the tree, at the cedar forest, and was guarded by Baba. Okay, there is a stairway up to heaven from the underworld called Kur. Remember, we talked about the curse. Another name for Africa. Africa. Whatever on that one. As a king of the Anunnaki, the Draken, Aldebaran, Leonites, and Dragoon, Anunnakim. Okay? Dragoon, Anunnakim. That's Ananakem. In Nuwaku and the Gigi. Okay? Genetically altered from Anu and Enki's DNA. All right, I'm giving you this from firsthand. I was there, so this is why I'm giving you this. From my DNA, the two class workers who lived and dwelled in the caves mined gold from materials to repair the universe after the fight of the ancient ones and the ones. The ones are the Onu or the Enu. Okay, Enu is the younger half brother of Alalu. Okay, this is where it came from. The Sumerians had further four leading deities known as the creating gods. These were the leaders of the Anunnaki and the Gigi and Nuwaku. The Enu or the On or Om god of heaven. This is not just a single deity, but a heavenly tribe. Okay, the Kiki tribe. All right, these are the goddesses of earth. Enlil, the god of air. Lu, son of Alalu, brother-in-law of Enki. Yes, brother-in-law of Enki. Leoni descended, turned to become a Dega. He turned to Dega and descended by way of Eliyun, Lu meaning light. Okay, Eliyun is the middle star and in Orion's belt. You go through Eliyun and you get to the 19th realm and in the 9th dimension. You get to Riz and all that other stuff that people be talking about. Lu meaning light. All right. Enki who later became Ea by the Babylonians, which is actually reversed. It was Ea who took on the title of Enki. It was Ea Asha'ea Yeka Mikael. Okay. The god of water. No father, oldest heir to the line of Abzu by way of being born from a patriarch of warrior class of bird and Draga Siri called the Batal Al Rate Atum. These are higher 11 dimensional beings called Seraphi for the creator of all. Okay? At the next level were the 50 great gods, those who belong to the Anunnaki, all through the several gods confined to the underworld and are specifically designated to Sabati. Okay? The Agigi and Sebati. The Agigi are the gods of the younger generations. They are given the task of digging gold in riverbeds by the Anunnaki, the other class. Excuse me, guys. After a long period, the Agigi, tired of its unpleasant work, revolted and forced the Nuberian leaders, the Triad gods, to find a new source of labor. Their solution, related in great details in the Sumerian records, was to create a slave race by splicing their genetics with the genes of the most advanced primate on the planet at the time, which was probably Homo habilis. This is approximately 4,400,000 years ago. Thus was born humanity, first Homo erectus, Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon man. Cro-Magnon man, not mankind. Okay? Mankind was created much later, as we will see. Okay? These are not the original man. All right. B. Sabeti. The Sabeti are 7 warrior gods led by Thoth, who is a scribe. He writes the scribe inside of the matrix and codes it. But at this time, he was known as Nergal. This is why he's depicted as an ibis, a bird. The ibis is a depiction of the Cygnus constellation, the swan. In Africa, we call it the Cygnus. We call it the ibis. They are also called the underworld gods. In the sky, they are called the Pleiades. These are the children of Anu and the Earth Mother. In the book of Enoch, these were called the Watchers in the Bible, the Nephilim, the demigods, the demons, monsters, okay? The demigods and demons, the children of the creations of the Anunnaki, they were worshipped as gods too. In Sumerian cosmology, this was first of all the primal sea Abzu, which was born the cosmic mountain consisted of An and Ki, heaven and earth. In the Bible, they are called Anakim, Anak, and Anakites, Araba, which is, all the barren, Rephites. This is what in the Bible is written about the Anakim. Okay? Whether we shall go up, our brethren have discouraged our hearts, saying the people is greater and taller than we. The cities are great and walked up to heaven, and moreover, we have seen the sons of the Anakim there. The Emims dwell there in the times past, a people great, many and tall as the Anakims, who were also counted giants as the Anakims, but the Moabites were called the Emims. So you're seeing the two different factions. A people of great, many and tall as the Anakims, but the Lord destroyed them destroyed the ones before them. They succeeded then and dwelt in their stead. A people great and tall, the children of the Anakims, whom thou knowest, and whom thou hearst say, who can stand before the children of Anak, or Anki, which is the first incarnation of Enki. Okay, because the Anakim are the Kemites. Okay, these are the Kemites. This is before the earth was smaller. It was huge. Bigger things can exist here. At the time came Joshua, cut off the Anakims from the mountains, from Hebron, from Dibber, and from Anab, and from all the mountains of Judah, from the mountains of Israel. Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the children of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and Ashad they remained. Okay. Now therefore give me this mountain whereof the Lord spoke the day that thou heardst, in the day that how the Anakims were, and though the cities were great and fenced, it was so the Lord will be with me in there, blah blah blah, more religious bullshit. The name of Hebron was before Karithroba, which was Araba, and the great man of the among the Anakims in the land had rest from war. The sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Phut, Canaan. The sons of Cush, Seba, Haval, Sabat, and Raman, and Sabatak. And the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dinan. And the Cush begat Nimrod. The Cush begat Nimrod. All right. Because we know that the Cushites were the ones that started Mesopotamian culture. The Nubians. Or whatever y'all call them. And he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the land, and where it is sat, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord, and the beginning of the kingdom of Babel, Erech, Akkad, Calnan, in the land of Shinar. Out of the land went forth Ashur and built Nineveh, and the great city Rehoboth and Calan, and Resin between Kala and the name in the great city. Okay. So I know this is a lot of breeding. So now we're going to talk about, let's see where we at with this. Okay, here we go. So I'm seeing if I have any pictures connected to this that can bring some clarity, y'all. Actually, no pictures attached to that one. So